What do you mean by operating system here? It is one of the system software and that is mainly consists of a set of programs. So by making use of an operating system, we are going to give some of the commands as well as the program instruction. Creation, if you are creating some of the process, then memory will going to be allocated. That is what memory management. Hello everybody, welcome back to the session 3 on chapter 4, that is software concepts. I am Rohini TS from the Department of Computer Science, Vidhyashram Pre-University College, Mysuru. So in the last session of this chapter, I have discussed regarding the language translator. So as we all know that computer understands only zeros and ones. So if I wanted to give any commands or any of the instruction, then computer has to understand, then only it is able to do the processing. For that purpose, we are going to use some of the translator, and that is what I have discussed regarding this assembler, compiler and interpreter, as well as I have discussed regarding the difference between compilers and assemblers. So based on the type of input that it will going to take and based on the timings it will going to take, everything that I have discussed in the difference between compilers and interpreter. And also we have learnt regarding the another system software, that is linkers and loaders. So what is the usage of linker and what is the usage of loader, or a definition is important for 2 mark question. And also discuss regarding utility software. So that is mainly will going to assist the computer system to work efficiently. So these are the things that I have discussed in my last session, that is regarding system software. Along with the types of system software, there we are left out with operating system. So in our today's session, we are going to learn regarding this operating system and what do you mean by operating system and why it is necessary and what are the functions it will going to perform and on what basis we are going to make a categories or a levels of operating system or a types of operating system. So this will going to be the today's session content. So now we'll see what do you mean by operating system and how it will going to help us in order to work with a computer system. So as we all know that operating system is also belongs to one of the system software. Then what is the necessity of using this operating system? We'll see the definition now. An operating system is a set of programs. It is a set of programs which acts as an interface between what? Between user and the computer. Then what do you mean by operating system here? It is one of the system software and that is mainly consist of a set of program. So as we all know that program is a set of instruction and that bunch of instruction will going to be termed as program. So that comprises of n number of program in order to make a efficient usage of the computer system. If I wanted to communicate with a computer system, then we have to give a command. Then how can I communicate with a computer? That can be done with the help of this operating system. It will going to act as a media or it will going to act as an interface between the user as well as the computer. User is a person, one who is using a computer, or a user is a person, one who is writing a code for the computer. This operating system will going to act as a, or it will going to help us in order by working as an intermediate between the user as well as the computer system. This is regarding definition of an operating system. So in short, we are going to call this as OS. OS is nothing but operating system. Then what is the main system software is the operating system. Then what is the usage of this operating system? Why we require? It will mainly going to starts up the computer and control its operation. If I wanted to get done any of my work by the computer system, first it has to get starts, right? So then only we are able to going to perform the operations with a computer system. That's owning of the computer system, owning in the sense not related to switch on. So when we are switching on that computer system, then there must be some interface. Then there must be able to perform some of the operation. That initialization of an operation will going to be started by this operating system, so that it is mandatory to have operating system in the computer. So without operating system, computer is just a dumb machine. Okay, that is what you have to remember. So then what is this operating system will going to manage? It will going to manage just the resources of a computer. when we are talking regarding the resources of a computer, it is always related to the CPU time as well as the memory and devices, that and all what we have in the computer system. I can consider input and output devices and memory devices and CPU utilization as a resource of a computer. So it will going to manage all the resources and it will going to resolve the conflicts. Conflicts in the sense, if there is something goes wrong, then this operating system will going to take care of that, and it will going to tries to optimize the performance of the system. So mainly it will going to optimize the system. It will going to make the betterment of the system by controlling the computer. So that is what the main usage of this operating system. It is a system software acts as an interface between user as well as the computer. It will mainly going to manage the opening, or it will going to mainly work with the start of a computer, as well as it will going to control the operations of a computer system. So here you can see the diagrammatic representation of an operating system. Here we have a n number of users. If you wanted to get done some of the work by the computer system, then there will be n number of user will going to be wait for the resources of a computer system. There could be more than one number of users, and here we have a software. In that software we have system softwares as well as we have application and this operating system. So what it will going to do, it will going to access an interface between the user as well as the computer resource that comprises of hardware will be there, then it will going to comprises of CPU, memory as well as the input output devices. So it will going to access an intermediator between the user as well as the computer resource. So the user communicates with the computer with the help of this operating system. So by making use of operating system, we are going to give some of the commands as well as the program instruction. Then that computer will going to understand the instruction, and we have some more system software. By making use of that, it will going to do the operations. So that is what the usage of this operating system. As we all know that if I wanted to process any of the instruction, or if any of the commands to be processed, then it has to be in the computer's memory. Then who is going to bring all the content into the computer memory? That work will going to be done by this operating system. So the main thing of operating system is what? It will going to place an important role in loading of a programs from the disk into the memory, whether it can be in the secondary storage device or it can be in any of the computer's memory. When we have to describe or when we have to process any of the instruction or any of the program, then it has to be in the main memory. So that bringing of the content from anywhere to the main memory is the work of this operating system, and it is also going to help for displaying of a message and translating the programs as well as outputting the result. So what work is not done by this operating system? It is going to do everything in order to assist the computers working in an efficient manner. Okay, that is what the main thing that we have to remember this regarding the operating system. Then what are the examples we have regarding this operating system? It may comprises of Windows, Linux and Macintosh, Mac OS. So these are all the example of this operating system. So here you can see that we have Linux, MS-DOS, Microsoft Windows, Unix, and we have Win 8, Win 7. So these are all the different version of this Windows itself. This is regarding the introduction part of this operating system. Then what are the functions of this operating system? So now we got to know the definition of this operating system. Then what are the function it will going to perform? So as in the definition only, we got to know that it is mainly will going to help in order to start the programs, and it will going to have a control over the programs, and memory management will going to be done. Okay, so now we'll see the functions of this operating system, and it is mainly important for 5-mark question. Important for 5-mark question. What do you mean by operating system? Write the functions of operating system. So we'll see the first operation or a first function of this operating system, that is what? Memory management, process management, device management and file management, protection and security, user interface and command interpreter. So these are all the some of the function which will going to be done by this operating system. So everything is management here. That means what, if it is related to management, that will going to have a control over the data. So it will going to have a control over the computer operations or a control over the computer activities. So now we'll see the first one, that is related to memory management. So it comes to the memory. So memory is nothing but what, that is a storage space that we require. So when we are working with a computer system, it will going to follow IPO format. First it has to take the input, then it has to be processed, then later on it will going to be displayed on a output screen, right? So when I'm taking the input, it has to be stored somewhere. Once it is done with the processing, then also it has to be stored somewhere until it reaches to the output device, right? So then what is the memory here? So that will going to act as a asset for the computer system. Memory is a asset for the computer system that will going to store the programs and that will going to store the instruction which is necessary for the processing of this instruction or processing of the operations of a computer system. Then proper utilization of memory is very mandatory in the computer system. Efficient usage of the memory is very important in a computer system. So if we are failed to use the memory in an efficient manner, then we will end up with some of the shortage of time. That is what, it will going to take more time for in order to run the program. So if we have efficient management of a memory, then the program will going to be run in a smooth manner. So that efficient usage of memory is mandatory. So then see what are the operation will going to be performed by this operating system, that too with respect of this memory management. It allocates the memory. Allocate in the sense what? It is giving some memory space. So for what? For all the kinds of activities, memory allocation is going to be done by this operating system. Then free memory. So now I am done with my work. I have to come back from that process. Then what is that memory will going to do? So that has to be deallocated. That is also going to be done by this operating system. Free memory in the sense what? If it is allocated, but once you are done with your processing, it has to be deallocated. That deallocated memory space will going to be used by another user. So that there must be a efficient usage of a memory has to be takes place. That can also be takes care by this operating system. Next is what? Reallocate the memory to a program when a used block is free. For example, you consider I'm playing some song, I'm taking some of the memory from the computer. Okay, let me consider I'm taking 2 MB. So once I'm done with my process, I'm going to just close this program or I'm just going to close this process. Then where is that memory is roaming? Where it is in the computer, then that has to be deallocated. When the computer get to know that if a person or a user has released a usage of a memory space, then it has to be deallocated. Okay, it has to be dereferenced. So that storage will going to be used for the another user. So that is what the reallocation of a memory to the program when used block is free. So when I'm done with my usage of that memory, that has to be reallocated to the another process, that has to be reallocated for another programs. So that will also going to be done by this operating system. Then keep track of memory usage. So mainly what? It will going to keep track of a memory usage. So whether allocated memory space is using in a efficient manner, whether user is using in the proper manner, that will going to be keep track by this operating system. Allocation of a memory, deallocation of a memory and reallocation of a memory, and keep tracking of this memory usage. So this is related to what? Memory management. We'll see the next function, that is what? Process management. So what do you mean by process then? So first we have to understand what you mean by process. So process is nothing but program in execution. Program in execution. So as we all know that program is a set of instruction. This operating system will also going to be worked under the set of instruction. That is what? Program. So program in execution, it is under the processing. That will going to be termed as what? Process. So how this process will going to be managed? How we are going to do the efficient usage of a process? We'll see now. So control access to shared resources like file, memory and input, output and CPU. So if you consider the computer system, here memory, CPU, input and output system and all the files. So that is also be considered as what? A set or a resource of a computer system. Then efficient usage of all those resources is mandatory. Then who is going to keep track of all those things? That will going to be done by this operating system. So when all these resources are allocated to any of the user for the processing of any of the instruction, then that has to be utilized at most of the efficiency. So that will going to be keep track by this operating system. So it will going to have a control access to the shared resources. So simply I cannot open the system, or I cannot open the resources, and if you are not using that, it has to be released so that another user can use that resources. Okay, so that is what the main thing. It should not be idle, it should be used for the utmost efficiency. So that will going to have a control over the accessing of a resources, that too related to what? Input output devices or memory, or it can be related to the file. Control execution of an application. So I cannot run the application as per my requirement. There will be a control over the running of application. If there is no rules, then there will be more damage. So that there will be some standards, you have to follow that standards, and there will be a control execution of a application. So we cannot run all the applications as per our requirements. So we have to wait for some time. There must be a scheduling of a program application. Everything has to be done in a efficient manner. That can also be done by this operating system. Create, execute and delete a process. So as we all know that process is program in execution. So we are going to create, and that can going to be executed. After that we can delete the process. Creation, if you are creating some of the process, then memory will going to be allocated. That is what? Memory management. Then execution, for that execution it will going to give up space. So once it is done with execution, it has to be deleted. If it is deleted with the process, then memory will going to be takes back. That is what? Deallocation of a memory. So that is delete a process. For efficient usage of any of the resources of a computer system, we have to allocate as well as we have to deallocate, and that has to be reallocate. Okay, that is what you have to remember. Next, cancel or resume a process. So you just consider listening to the music. So if you are not listening, then you can pause it or you can cancel it. Then there will be what? There will be a proper utilization of a computer time. Computer cannot sit idle. Okay, so we have to make a utilization of a computer resource in an efficient manner. So if you are not using, then we have to cancel the process, or else if you wanted to use it back, then we have to pause that. So that can be done by this process management, that too with the help of operating system. Cancel or resume a process. Next is what? Schedule a process. So we have to schedule which program has to come first and which next program has to come first. Okay, so in the, if you consider the examples of music and all, there also we are going to schedule. So which song must play, after that what is the next song, that and all. So scheduling must be there. So we have to think about what is the priority of a process. So if it is done, what must be the next thing to be happen. That is what? We have to make a scheduling of a process, or we have to make a scheduling of a programs. That can also going to be done by efficient memory management with the help of operating system. Synchronization, communication and deadlock handling for process. So being in a first PUC, you may not understand regarding this deadlock and all. Okay, that is mainly used for what? There must be a proper utilization of a computer CPU. CPU should not be idle. So we have to make a utilization of a CPU's time. Let me take one example. You consider you are trying to call somebody. Okay, if a same person is calling you back, then both will not going to get connected. So you are going to get the busy tone from this side, even from that side also. That means what? You are trying to access a resource, but both is in the lose and lose situation. That is what? We are not in the win-win situation. So that is related to deadlock. If a person or a user, more than one user is trying to access the same resource, then all will going to lose. That means they are not able to fetch the content from that resources. So that they have to wait for some time. For that waiting, we are going to use the scheduling algorithm. So that synchronization, communication and deadlock handling will going to be done by this operating system. This is related to what? Process management. So we'll see the next one, device management. So device management, as we all know that input and output operations will going to take more time than the CPU processing time. So then if you want to match the speed of an input and output system with the CPU or with the resource of a computer system, then it is mandatory to have a control over this input output system. So input output systems are considered as what? Device. So if you are talking related to device, that comprises of hardware. Okay, so we must have a control over the hardware, or we must have a control over the devices which we are having in the computer system. Then how efficiently we can manage? So we'll see. So open, close and write the device drivers. So this is related to what? Memory. So drivers, device drivers, that will going to access an interface. If I wanted to fetch any of the hard disk, if I wanted to fetch any of the floppy disk, then this disk drives will going to access the intermediate. Okay, so there we have to make a proper utilization of open, close as well as write. Write in the sense what? We are going to give some content to that device. So that is write. Read in the sense we are fetching some details from that device. That is read. Okay, so opening and closing and writing of a device content with the disk drivers should be done in a efficient manner. So then only device management will going to be happen in a efficient manner. Next is communication, control and monitor the device drivers. So we have to have a control over the device drivers. So it can be input and output devices or any of the hardware device which is related to computer's function. So that their communication and their control, and after that monitoring how it is working, how efficiently working. So we have to think in and out of all the disk drives. So that can also going to be done by this operating system with the help of device management function. So we'll see the next one, that is file management. So as we all know that file is nothing but what? It is a stream of bytes. So that stream of byte can comprises of any kind of character. So if you wanted to store any of the instruction and data in a permanently or to be stored in the permanent manner, then we have to go with a file. So okay, that collection of file will going to have a directory. So how we are going to manage the file? So what is the usage of this file? We'll see now. So create and delete both the files as well as the directory. So directory will going to be in the higher authority. So that may comprises of n number of files. So if you have more number of files and directories and all, then there must be a control over that. So if not, there will be a damage to the data and instructions. So that create and delete. So we have to create the files. Once I am done with the work of that file, it has to be deleted. So then only proper utilization of memory as well as the device as well as this file management will going to be takes place. Create and delete both the files as well as the directories. Then provide access to files. So if I ask your social media's account, will you going to give your credential? Absolutely not. That means what? You require some security. So you are in the need of some confidentiality and private things to be there. So in the files also we have to give the access to the files. That means what? If I wanted to read or write the content of a file, then there must be a accessibility. That should allow me to open the file, that should allow me to do something with the file. Then only we can do some of the operation with respect to the file. So then who is going to manage all these operations? That too with the help of this operating system. So allocate space for file. So I have to do some of the operation with respect to the file. First, it has to be allocated with some of the memory space. If there is no space to store the file or if there is no space to save the file, then I am not able to perform any of the operation related to the file. So that allocated space for the files. So that is also related to what? Memory management. It will going to allocate the memory as a resource for all the kinds of things. So here efficient allocation of a memory space for the file is also important. Keep backup of files. So if something goes wrong, if anything done with that damage to the computer system, then what about these files? So we have to be able to back up the files. So it has to come back. It has to retain all the data and instruction what was there in the file before the damage. So that can also going to be done with the help of this operating system. Next is what? Secure files. So as we all know that confidentiality of a data is important. So that too, when we are working with online, all the credentials to be confidential, so that secure files, so file comprises of any kind of data, so it cannot be disclosed to everybody or to the public. So we have to secure a files with some of the locking systems, or we have to open a file with some of the given credentials. So all these file management operation can also be done by this operating system. So we'll see the next function of operating system, that is protection and security. So all we are concerned regarding the security of our data, right? So that too, when we are working online, it is mandatory to be that what our data has to be in the secured form. So then how this operating system will going to provide a security, to whom it is providing a security, we'll see now. Operating system will going to provide the security, or it will going to protect the resource of a system. So as I told, resource is nothing but what? It can be related to input output system, or related to memory, as well as it is related to file, right? So these are all the resources of a computer system. This operating system will going to protect all these resources of a computer system. And user authentication, so what it going to provide as a security for the computer or to the any of the devices or a resources of a system, it is going to have a user authentication. For example, you consider the example of your social media account. So if I just wanted to log into your social media account, first I have to give the credential. Proper credential is required. So I have to give the login details like username and as well as the password. If both matches to the existing one, then only it will allow me to use that window. So here also, when we are using resources of a computer system, user authentication is required. It should not allow unauthorized user to use the resource of a computer system. That authentication will going to be done by this operating system, as well as it will going to have a file attributes. So that is read, write, encryption and backup of data. So that means what? You just consider, I have a file, I just wanted to provide security for this file. It can be any of the resources. I just wanted to give some security to the file or any of the data and instruction. So here, whether I can give only read option, so the user cannot do any modification to my file. They can just read and write, in the sense what? They can fetch some content my file. After that, encryption. So when I'm sending from one person to another person, in between the transaction, then there should not be a modification of my data. So by making use of some of the scrambling words and by making use of some of the techniques, we can encrypt. So there you can consider the WhatsApps. So the every message for a e-chat is going to be encrypted. So we cannot decrypt that messages. So we cannot get to know what was the message that has been sent from sender to receiver if we have a security code. Okay, that is also going to be done with the help of this operating system. And backing up of the files and backing up of any of the resources of a computer system will going to be done by this operating system. It will going to provide security as well as the management, and it will going to provide security as well as the protection to the computer system resource. We'll see the last one, that is user interface or command interpreter. How can I communicate with a computer? That too by giving some of the instruction. That instructions will going to be termed as a command. I have to give a command. By making use of that command, computer will going to do the operation, right? Here, operating system will going to provide an interface between the user as well as the computer hardware. That is what already we learned regarding the definition. So how this operating system is working as an interface? Interface in the sense what? It will going to access a layer between user as well as the computer hardware. So I cannot directly work with the computer hardware. I have to give some commands. So in order to give that command, we require an operating system. It will going to access an user interface. It will going to access user interface between the user as well as the computer hardware. Then the user interface is a set of commands or a graphical user interface. So it can be what? Graphical user interface, GUI. So in short, we can call that as a GUI. So with the help of menus and icons, I can have a communication with a computer system or a computer hardware. Then that can also going to be provided by this operating system. So which user interacts with the application and the hardware. If I just wanted to open any of the file, then directory will going to be present. If I double click on it, then it will going to open. So there will be number of files. So whichever the file that I wanted to access, I can use that file. Okay, there will be restriction over the file. By making use of some of the parameter, we are going to get a benefit over the file or any of the resources of a computer system. So that here we can summarize that all the functions of an operating system will going to provide a security, and it will going to protect the resources of a computer system. It will going to manage the memory, file management will going to be done, and device management will going to be done. It will going to provide the protection and security for the resources of a data, and it will going to act as a user interface and command interpreter. Command interpreter in the sense what? You just consider a translator. So a person one who is standing in front of me may not know Hindi. So if I am talking in Hindi, there must be some person who is going to translate my Hindi to the language that he knows. Okay, so that is what interpreter is required. So I have to use command interpreter if I wanted to communicate with a computer system. Then that can also going to be provided by this operating system. So summarize of this, what functions of an operating system is important for 5-mark question. So now we'll see what are the types of operating systems we have. What are the types of OS? So here we have a different types of operating system that comprises of single user operating system and batch operating system, and we have multi-programming operating system. Under this category of multi-programming, we also have multitasking, multi-user, time-sharing system and real-time system. So this is related to multi-programming. So after that what we have distributed operating system, then network operating system and multi-threading operating system. So these are all the types of operating system, whether one person is using a system, whether it is performing more than one operation, whether it is providing the resources to more than one people at a time. So based on all these parameters, we are just going to make a categories, or we are just going to make a types of operating system. So we'll see the first type, that is single user operating system. As the name indicates, single user. We know what is operating system and what are the function it will going to provide, and what do you mean by the operating system, its working methodology, everything that we got to know. So then single user operating system, what it means? And you have to remember one thing, all the definition of all the types of operating system is important. So it can be asked for either 1-mark question or for 5-mark question. So that here you can see that what do you mean by the single user operating system? This operating system allows only one user to share the system resources, including the CPU. So here in the resource only, we are going to include the CPU. So if a single person is allowed to use the computer resource completely, then we are going to call that kind of operating system as a single user operating system. So that is, if a single person is using the complete resources of a computer system, that kind of operating system is single user operating system. Then where can we find these kind of operating system? You can take the example of your PC, that is personal computer, as well as the desktops. So whatever the computer's time is there, whatever the computer memory, and whatever the computer input and output devices is there, everything will going to be used by a single person. That is what used by single user. That kind of operating system will going to be termed as single user operating system. So these are mainly operating system configured for the use of desktop PC and laptops. Laptops and desktop PCs or personal computers are the example for this kind of operating system. So what are the operating system comes under this single user? That is DOS and Windows 95, Windows 98, Apple Macintosh are the example for this single user operating system. We'll see the next type of operating system, that is batch operating system. So here what it indicates, batch. So why we require batch? You just consider your computer science labs batch. So there, instead of taking single student at a time to the lab, so what we are going to do? So we are just going to make a group of 10 to 15 students or 20 students in a single batch. Then it will be easy for us to deliver a lecture or to teach any of the program at a shot. That means what? So all the student will going to be get beneficial and resource will going to be utilized in a efficient manner. So in the same way, we are also going to do the batch processing system. That is what? Batch operating system. So whatever the similar kind of job is there or whatever the similar kind of process is there, everything will going to be grouped into single batch. Then that will going to be fed as an input to the computer system or a computer processor. Then it will going to process everything. At last it will going to give the solutions or a result. So take the example of printer. For example, I just wanted to have a photocopy of chapter 1 as well as the photocopy of chapter 2. So this has to be reached for 50 students. So what they are going to do? Are they going to do the individual sheet at a time? No. Instead of that, so they are going to take all the data of this chapter 1 notes as a complete process. So they are just going to make a similar program together. They are combining the similar program together. All the similar activities will going to be combined together as a batch. So they are going to print or they are going to do the processing of this chapter 1 number of sheets into 50. So that means what? The efficient usage of the resource will going to be takes place. So instead of printing each page at a time, so what they are going to do? So they are going to bundle all the chapter 1 notes. That means all the sheets of chapter 1 notes will going to be bundled together as a similar jobs, and they are going to consider this as batch 1, and same thing will going to be happen with this chapter 2 as a batch 2. So this is what proper utilization of a resource will going to takes place. In the operating system also, they are just going to group a job with a similar activities or a similar needs or a similar resource which is required. So by making use of that clubbing or integration of a group of job with a similar activities or a similar needs and resources, then it will going to be grouped together as a batch. Then that batch will going to be fed as an input for the computer processor. Then it will going to process, then it will going to produce as the resources or a resultant. The operating system that allows the user to create batches and execute each batch sequentially. So here also, first I am going to take up a photocopy of chapter 1 for 50 students. So once I am done with this operation, I will next move to the chapter 2 content. Okay, so this will going to be work or it will going to utilize the resources in a efficient manner. So same thing will going to work with this operating system. So it will going to execute each batch sequentially, and it will going to processing all the jobs of batch, considering them as a single process. Very important. Considering all the batch content as a single process. So here also I can give this photocopy either to the 50 students or to the 500 students. I'm just making a group of similar kind of activities and group of similar needs and similar resource. All the students are in the need of this computer science notes. So every CS students has to get that notes. Then how efficiently we have to do? So we have to make that as a job, whether it may be related to number of activities can be vary. For example, it may need to reach out to 50 students or a 500 students or a 5000 students, whatever the number of jobs could be there. So that will going to be grouped as a single process. So once I'm done with this process, then it will going to sequentially takes the another process as a second batch. So that is what the thought regarding this batch operating system. And you consider one more thing. So if I am giving an input to the printer, are we supposed to stand there? I can just press number of copies as 50 and number of pages as from 0 to 10 or 0 to 15. How much number of sheets we have in a notes, every sheet has to be takes place. So when this batch processing is important or when this batch operating system is more used, so when there is no much interaction is required. So when there is a little or no much interaction is required by the user, then at that time this kind of batch processing operating system will going to be used. So that is the main usage. So it will going to allows little or no interaction between the user and executing the programs. So first what I'm going to do, I'm just going to initialize the work. So after that, then my interaction with the computer system does not require. I can just give that into the printing and I can sit somewhere. Okay, that is what the main thing related to this batch operating system. So this is well suited for an application with large computation time. So if I require more computation time with no user interaction, then at that time for that kind of jobs or for that kind of activities, this batch operating system is very best operating system. Okay, then for payroll, for forecasting and statistical analysis are a best program example for this batch kind of operating system. Okay, so weather forecasting also, so that machine will going to take a data in a daily basis. So after that we are going to make a weather forecasting on the basis of a week or on the basis of a month or a yearly basis. So at that time large computation is required, but human intervention is not required all the time. So that kind of work can be done by with the help of this batch operating system. So here you can see that job 1, job 2 up to job n. So this will going to be considered as a single process or a single program that will going to be fed into this operating system. Then it will going to be considered as a different batches. So that batches will going to reach out to the CPU. Then the CPU will going to help for the processing of that instruction. So in order to get the result. So this is related to what? Batch operating system. Then what are the advantages of this batch operating system? It mainly will going to work with the FIFO, that is first in first out. So if I come first, then my sheets or that whatever the content I require will going to be print first. That is what first in first out. So whatever the process or whatever the comments comes first, that will going to be served first. That is regarding advantage. Then what are the disadvantages here? No interactive mode of execution. So no human intervention is required in between. So sometimes that can also be the disadvantage. So if I just wanted to stop that activities in between, at that time it might not allow us. So that non-interactive mode of execution. So if there is some modification is required, somehow it could be difficult. Then offline debugging. So if there is any errors occurs, I have to do it only after getting as a result. So when will we get to know that this sheet is not correct for the printing, or this content of this sheet after the printing is not correct? That means what? We are doing the debugging, we are correcting that errors only offline. Once it is done with work, after that only we can do the correction. That is what? Offline debugging. Then what are the examples which comes under this batch operating system? That is IBM system bar 360, and we can also use this DOS with the help of .bat file. So this is related to batch operating system. So in our next session, we are going to learn with this multi-programming operating system. There we have several types in the multi-programming, as well as we are going to learn regarding the distributed operating system and network operating system, multi-threaded operating system, and what are the functional features of operating system we have, that is CUI and GUI. So this will be the content for my next session. So I hope you all understood with my today's session. Let me meet you in the next session with a continuation of the types of operating system. Until that, keep learning, keep on growing. Thank you.